All right, and we welcome you here live to the Brevard Sports Network as we have a very, very special matchup on our hands here tonight. A game that is full of storylines, a game that is full of questions, what to expect from each side of the football for either team. As we are getting set to go here, National Anthem is going to start here soon. Before that starts, I want to let you know what we have. We have the Palm Bay Pirates at 2-3 coming here to the Satellite Scorpions at 5-0. And the National Anthem about to start, and we'll come back when kickoff is about to go. All right, and after a beautiful rendition of the National Anthem, we are going to get set for kickoff here at the home of the Scorpions. Let's give a little background on this football game. The only undefeated team in Brevard County, the Satellite Scorpions. And you see the record, Palm Bay 2-3. Not great to start their season. A lot of ups and downs, a roller coaster type of the season for the Palm Bay Pirates and their head coach. And then when it comes to the Satellite Scorpions, the 5-0 Scorpions are, this is their first year in a different district, in a different association, and they are 5-0, and a lot of question marks about this 5-0. Will they be able to compete with other Brevard County teams? We are going to see that here tonight between the Pirates and the Scorpions as the captains are about to come onto the field for both squads. I'll read you off the names of these captains here for the Palm Bay Pirates. It's going to be number 7, Blaze Brown, number 11, Caden Newton, and number 17, Jason Tixera. These rosters are off Max Preps, so if numbers and names are wrong, I apologize. These are the rosters that Max Preps provides us. And for the Satellite Scorpions in that nice black and red look on this Friday night, number 5, Brody Grennan, the quarterback for the Scorpions. Number 9, Chris Fudge. Number 11, Anthony Romero. And looks like number 12, Noah Corovo. See who receives the kick. And just a little background about these coaches. Coach Kevin Mays, Palm Bay alum, proven program builder, 102 and 51 career record coaching high school football as a head coach. Took Viera to a 7A state championship in 2015, and he rebuilt Baker County into a perennial contender. Now faces his mentor, Dan Burke, the man who built Palm Bay's dynasty. So this is, bittersweet for both guys, protege versus mentor, and we will see who will come on top. Dan Burke, the only undefeated man in Brevard County. And looks like the Scorpions will receive the kick. And a little background on Dan Burke. He's the winningest coach in Brevard County history. 255 career wins for Coach Dan Burke. As the Satellite Scorpions set to come out of their end zone with Enter Sandman on the speakers. And here come the Scorpions. They look to remain undefeated in their biggest test of the season. And we'll get some more stats once this game rolls along about how dominant Satellite has been over their opponents. Not only winning games, absolutely steamrolling teams as they will receive the first half kickoff. Again, like to thank everybody joining me here tonight. It's just me, Chase Alexander, in the booth, bringing you this game live. Looks like set to kick for the Pirates is going to be number 34. And I don't have a 34 on my roster, so we're just going to call him number 34. As Palm Bay puts foot to leather. And it's going to be returnable for the Scorpions. As he spins off a couple defenders now, it's going to be stood up right about at their own 30-yard line. Decent field position for the Satellite Scorpions. And their junior quarterback, Brody Grinnan, 7 TD passes this year on max preps. Satellite doesn't have any stats available, so just going off a word from the coaches and kind of a scouting report for each guy instead of stats. So for Grennan, he must stay efficient and protect the football tonight. That's a big key factor that coach told us here at BSN. And they're going to start in that I formation. First time seeing the Scorpions here on Brevard Sports Network. A little toss outside. He's got it blocking, hits the gap hard. Good gain that time of about 11 yards. That's their leading rusher, Logan Waite. Waite is their workhorse back here in Satellite. And thank you to all of our sponsors here this evening, one of them being Natwick Insurance. Huge thank you to Natwick Insurance, able to hook me up with an extension cord up here in the booth. So I appreciate Mr. Eric Natwick. His information is at the bottom of your screen on that nice big banner. We'll get to the other sponsors as the game goes on. We'll pop them up on the bottom of the screen. Back in the I formation for Grinnan. That's Waite again, same play. Decent result, gets about 5 or 6 yards that time on the HB toss. And when it comes to the Satellite offense, Very disciplined squad is that offense, but really carried by the defense are the Scorpions. In their first 2 games, they combined for 49 points and pitched a shutout in weeks 1 and 2 against Halifax and Freedom. Back in the I form now, switching complete formations to the left side. Heavy set, 2 tight ends to the left. It's going to be a fullback handoff, trying to get behind that heavy set. It's going to be stuffed right on the line of scrimmage by that big D line that Palm Bay brings out onto the field. Man, big number 98 there, Jordan Brennis. I don't think he was the one that made the tackle, but you can just see him on the top of every pile. Even if he's on the bottom, I bet you can still see him. That is a big, big young man down there. Satellite now is going to go in the gun. Looks like it's going to be a Wildcat. Grennan takes the snap, fires it. Nice little pass outside of the first down. Markin tries to spin away. Able to get the first down, so 2 first downs for the Scorpions on this drive, and they are working quickly down the field into Palm Bay territory, a little bit past the 45-yard line. Grennan motions Waite to his left. And if the camera's a little shaky, it's a little windy up here in the booth. Is once the crowd gets a little rowdy, the camera shakes a little bit. Waite takes a snap. It'll be wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage that time by number 25, Max Lopez. Again, if these guys are not in their right names, I have number 25, Caden Fonte. Excuse me. That was me misreading it. Second and 9 now for the Scorpions. Coach Dan Burke on the sideline. Drops back to pass. That's complete. He's able to get upfield right at that 30-yard line. Good catch and throw for another Scorpions first down. On the reception that time, number 12, Noah Korovu. Excuse me if I mispronounced that last name. Korovu, one of the leading receivers for this Scorpions team, reliable possession target, and he constantly moves the chains, and we just saw an example of that. First and 10 on the Pirates, 20. Grennan takes the snap, going to hand it off to Waite. Waite tries to get outside, now bounces back inside, and corralled by that big defensive line. That time looked like number 69, Edgar Christian, for the Pirates. Some of the leading tacklers for this Palm Bay Pirates football team: Billy Brown, 25 tackles, an emotional leader in our scouting report for Mr. Brown. Brennis Jordan, we already talked about the size of him, 21 tackles for this Pirates team, 2 tackles for loss. And linebacker / defensive end Aaron Messenger, along with 21 tackles and 2 sacks for these Pirates. Grennan back in the I formation, pitches it out to Waite. Waite has a little entourage of blockers now pushed out right at that 20-yard line. And it's really been just a calm, collected drive. And what else would you expect out of a team that Coach Dan Burke coaches? They are undefeated on the year, and they are proving why, just marching down the field on this Pirates defense. .706 remains here in the first quarter. Long, confident drive. Last week, Satellite beat Atlantic 24-7. So no stranger to points, and not allowing points are the Scorpions this season. Back in that I form, Waite the back. Assignment's going to be a fullback carry. Gives them a stiff arm, brought down inside the red zone for the Scorpions. On the carry that time was number 8, Will Copeland. Able to get about a yard there, brings up 2nd and 9 for Satellite. Again, if my volume is a little bit off, just somebody shoot me a text and let me know. I am not have a ability to monitor myself here, so be greatly appreciated. Fakes the handoff, a little bootleg from Grennan. Grennan fires a ball in the corner, end zone, caught. What a play that time by the Scorpions. Grennan's 8th touchdown pass of the season. That time, Alex Batalis on the touchdown reception. 19-yard strike on a little play-action boot by the Scorpions leads to the first points of this ball game here in week number 6. Confident drive by these Scorpions. Holder is going to be Vitalis. Snap is good, kick is up, and kick is good. Extra point that time by Preston Kennedy puts the Satellite Scorpions on top as they strike first in this ball game. So after the 19-yard touchdown pass by the junior quarterback, Brody Grennan, Alex Batalis is in our scouting report as a deep threat, and he showed his ability there. 20-yard touchdown pass to Batalis. As the kick is away, it's a little squib kick and jumped on by the Pirates. Heads up play there. Blaze Brown on the recovery. And when it comes to the Palm Bay Pirates offense, they are led by senior quarterback Byron Thompson. He's a dual threat leader, 535 total yards through 5 games for Thompson, 293 passing yards and 233 rushing yards, so split right about the middle. 2 touchdowns on the ground for Thompson. Thompson fires a quick strike outside. That's complete. He's got blockers in front. Able to fight forward. It's going to get about 15 yards that time. Good little catch and throw for the Pirates to start their drive as the fresh set comes after the first play. On the reception that time was Caden Newton. Caden Newton is the so-called MVP of this team. 592 all-purpose yards rushing and receiving for these Pirates. 5 touchdowns and 112 yards per game for Newton. That time a handoff. That's Blaze. Going to get about 5 yards there on the carry. Blaze Brown, what a cool name that is. Blaze Brown, another one of those leading backs, 212 yards and a touchdown for the Pirates, as the Pirates are moving fast under Coach Kevin Mays. 2nd and 5. Thompson hard count gets the defense to jump off sides, and that's going to be a fresh set of downs for the Pirates. Thompson wearing number 17 tonight. Heard he got his jersey ripped last week, so usually number 0 for Byron Thompson. This week he's going to be number 17. Jersey rip, can't say I've heard that one in a while, jersey or before. Able to get the defense to jump off sides. Thompson drops back to throw, something he's not accustomed to this year. Caught by Newton. Newton just so quick on his feet. Takes about 5 Scorpions to bring him down, makes the first 2 miss. Not after he gets about 7 yards. Going to bring up a 2nd and 3 now. Coach Kevin Maines, as we talked about in the pregame, is a former alum of the Palm Bay Pirates. Wants to bring this team back to glory, you know. And it's funny because Coach Dan Burke is a guy that built a dynasty for these Pirates. You know, through the years about 1996 to 2019, Dan Burke pretty much ran this county with the Palm Bay Pirates. A couple of legendary teams, legendary players for sure. As we're going to get a false start on the offense after a little screen attempt there. So that's going to send them back 5 yards. So instead of a 2nd and 3, it's going to be a 2nd and 8 for the Pirates. Last week for these Pirates, they played the Melbourne Bulldogs, and it was not pretty. They hosted Melbourne, and they lost 59-14, and things just really got out of hand for the Pirates. And, you know, this is a big, big bounce-back spot. If they can defeat the only undefeated team in the county and the Scorpions, this will be a huge momentum boost as he's trying to get outside, but great rally by that Scorpions defense to not let him upfield and keep pushing him out and out. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 5 after he picks up 3 yards there. And one of the keys to this game is control the tempo. You know, Satellite kind of drove down the field, no problem on their first drive, and we're showing Palm Bay's showing signs here that they can do the same. 3rd and 5. I would assume 4 down territory into Scorpions territory here. Thompson takes a snap. Beautiful protection. Now he's got rush from the backside. Tries to escape, but he's brought down from behind. Number 55 comes up pumping his chest. That's Luke Hurt. Hurt able to bring him down from behind, and not something you see too often, is able to catch the elusive Thompson. So now 4th and 11. Now the Pirates are going to be forced to punt. You don't want to give the Scorpions good field position right at their 50-yard line. It's going to be number 17. That's going to be Byron Thompson to punt. Thompson, high arcing boot. And it's going to be fair caught. Looks like about the 15-yard line. Fair caught by number 15, Mario Lopez Vargas. So the Scorpions will take over at 1st and 10 with 3:12 remaining here in the first quarter. Takes the snap's going to hand it off. Nowhere to really go. Maybe gets about a yard that time. Looked like it was weight on the carry. And, you know, there's just kind of a different type of buzz in the air when it comes to this Satellite football team. Last couple of years, Brian Helton really, you know, he held it down here in Satellite, but wasn't their best of years when it comes to football. And Dan Burke has come in here and absolutely flipped this program on its head and basically cemented them. You know, once they've dropped into the SSAA, Sunshine State Athletic Association, you know, same Space Coast is in that association as well, but you know they've really come out and asserted dominance. You know, 5-0 start to the season, 1-0 in conference play, and it's really been their defense. Their defense has allowed 6.8 points per game, and that is just an insane number. No matter who you're playing, 6.8 per game is a crazy number to put up for a defense, and we're going to get a timeout. At this timeout, we'll play a little commercial for my friend Chrissy.
Hi, I'm Chrissy Lindback with Compass, your East Coast real estate expert. When it comes to selling your home, experience and strategy matter. My team and I make sure every detail is handled, so you get top dollar and a stress-free experience. We bring in professional stagers, high-end photographers, and cinematic videographers to showcase your home at its best. Because every showing starts online, and we make sure your home stands out. With consistent communication, strong negotiation skills, and local market expertise, I guide you every step of the way. Because here in Brevard, when it comes to real estate, Chrissy knows. Ready to buy or sell in Brevard? Visit Chrissy Knows, and let's get started.
Nice little commercial there from Chrissy as we come back to the action with a flag. See what the calling is from the official. It's going to be a false start. It's going to back Satellite up about 5 more yards. So after a loss of 2 on second down, it's going to bring them back about to their 5-yard line now. So 3rd and a country mile for the Scorpions. We'll see what they try to do if they can get out of their own end zone here. Grinnan drops back to pass. Blitz is coming, strips away from a couple tacklers, gets out of his own end zone, and brought down at his own 2-yard line. Good job by Grinnan to escape pressure and, most importantly, escape the safety. Looks like he got his helmet ripped as he's touching his face as he walks off the sideline. Hopefully he's okay. Don't want to lose him if you're the Scorpions. That Palm Bay defensive line bringing heat up the middle of the line. And this is going to be a sketchy situation for the Scorpions. They're going to punt heels on the back, heels on the white for the punter. And he looked like he was going to throw. And we're going to get a false start, so that should be half distance, so maybe about to the 2-yard line or the 1.5-yard line for the Scorpions. And closer and closer. Palm Bay is going to bring out an all-out rush. Back to return for the Pirates is number 2, Timothy Sederos. And there's going to be another false start. Wow. So they're going to be at their 1 pretty much. I don't know if they already were. It's kind of tough to see here from the booth. No, they're going to get Palm Bay. So it's going to be a defensive offsides instead of a false start. So good help for the Scorpions. Takes a snap. Good snap. Able to get away. Low line drive punt. Sederos looked like he was going to touch it. He's going to let it roll. And it's going to be down at the Scorpions' 42-yard line. So great starting field position if you're the Pirates, as you need to capitalize here with 42 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Again, I'd like to thank everybody joining me here on the Brevard Sports Network. It's a beautiful evening. We've got a nice little breeze coming through the windows here on Beachside, and not a beachside guy, but definitely fits my vibe with the nice breeze and everything. 1st and 10. Thompson in the gun, takes the snap, going to hand it off the gut. Gets a good push, maybe about 4 yards that time on the carry. Looked like it was Dorian Baychamp. Excuse me if I mispronounced that. Baychamp on the carry. Gets about 4. 2nd and 6 now. Again, I'd like to thank our sponsor as well, Natwick Insurance, our first quarter sponsor, and really was a big help. Without him, we probably wouldn't be able to do this broadcast. Brought an extension cord up here, able to get this thing going. Appreciate Mr. Eric Natwick. 2nd and 6 for Thompson and the Pirates. Another handoff this time, cuts inside. Nice cut, and Newton just kind of jumps around. It seems like every step he takes about 2 yards forward. And that's going to end the first quarter as we flip sides after Palm Bay is marked short of a first down, so it's going to be a 3rd and 1. And we will be right back with second quarter action here on the Brevard Sports Network. Our second quarter sponsor here tonight is going to be Technique Boxing. All their information down at the bottom of your screen. Now we're going to go into like a little stack formation on a 3rd and short, able to get the first down and more. He keeps on trucking, able to get about 5 or 6 that time on the carry for the Pirates, and that's going to be a first down inside the 30-yard line as the Pirates look to answer back the first quarter score by the Scorpions. And they brought big number 98, Brennis Jordan, in there, pushing the pile forward. Thompson now in the gun, 2 receivers to each side. Watch Newton here at the bottom of your screen. They're going to hand it off the middle, and absolutely nowhere to go for the Pirates. That time on the carry, Blaze Brown, brought down by a slew of Scorpions. And there is a flag on the field. See what it is. Looks like coach is discussing what he wants to do here. Or the white hat is discussing something with coach. And they're going to bring him back 5 yards. So only can be really a false start or an illegal formation. Somebody wasn't lined up on the line. 1st and 15 for the Pirates. Thompson takes a snap, looks back to throw. He's going to sling it across. That's number 21 on the reception. Great tackle by the Scorpions defensive back. Number 45 that time, Owen Trilio for the Scorpions. On the reception was number 21, Brayon Daniels. So about no gain. Still 2nd and 15 after the catch and throw by Daniels and Thompson. Thompson, 3 receivers at the top of your screen. Thompson rolls left, and we get another whistle, another pre-snap penalty. We had quite a few of those to start this ball game. And it's going to be a false start, so it's going to back them up another 5 yards. So instead of a 2nd and 15, a 2nd and 20. And this drive started about where this ball is going to be placed. Right about that 40-yard line. Excuse me, inside the 40-yard line. And that S can be deceiving. I thought when I first came up here that was a 50-yard line. But it is the 35-yard line, not the 50-yard line. So if you're watching at home, I'll try to make sure I'm on top of my yardage numbers. Brings in the tight end for this formation. Thompson rolls right, pressure all over the field, able to escape. There goes Thompson. You don't want to let him get loose. Able to get back right about to that initial line of scrimmage. Great job by Byron Thompson. Able to improvise and make something out of nothing. Really had like 3 Scorpions all over him. Thought they were going to bring him down, but that's one of the strengths of this Palm Bay's offense is Byron Thompson. Able to escape all kinds of pressure. Gets about 10 yards on that scramble. 3rd and 10 now for the Pirates. Thompson takes a snap, quick pass outside to Newton. Newton cuts back inside, able to accelerate. He's going to be short of the first down, not before he gets 6 yards. It's going to be about 4th and 4, and a decision for Coach Mays. We'll see what he decides to do. Looks like he's going to leave the offense out on the field, maybe try to draw the Scorpions off sides. 9:26 to go here in the first half. Thompson tries the hard count now, looks over to the sideline. We'll see if they just burn a timeout here. Looks like that's what they're going to do, and they do. 4th and 5. Tried the hard count. Scorpions didn't bite. Decisions for Coach Mays in his Palm Bay's offense as they trail by a touchdown. This Satellite defense has pitched 2 shutouts so far this season. Last 3 games combined, just 20 points allowed. Something about this defense, they are fast. They don't waste opportunities. You know, this defense started this drive facing a challenge when the Pirates got their ball at their own 40-yard, or excuse me, in the Scorpions' 40-yard line, and they've held strong, forcing a 4th down and forcing the Pirates to go for it here. This could be a huge stop for the Scorpions. Thompson takes the snap, going to hand it off, and the ball's still alive. He didn't hand it off, and he's going to get the first down. What a wacky play. I don't know what happened. Look, maybe somebody thought they blew a whistle, but well, the referees are going to talk about this. I don't know what happened. Looks like everybody else on the field stopped. Thompson didn't even hand the ball off. It was B-Champ in the backfield. I mean, if they blew it dead, they blew it dead. I'm not sure what the conversation would be about. Looks like they're just going to mark the ball where it was as the shoulders drop from Thompson and the rest of that Palm Bay Pirates sideline. As we hear the nice soothing Jeopardy music in the background here. Good touch. As they're going to talk to Coach Burke on what this could be about. Looks like they're just going to replay 4th down. It could have been somebody in the crowd blowing a whistle and the players stopped play, so it'd be only fair to just redo the down. Because it was a broken. Thompson didn't even hand off the football. He kind of bounced outside and took advantage. I mean, smart play by Thompson. If he didn't, you know, the refs didn't come in there and blow their own whistles. More conversations here. 8:55 to go here in the second quarter. This is a very disciplined team, offense, defense, special teams, whatever you know. Whatever they do best is discipline under Coach Dan Burke. Put together a great staff, and this team hasn't disappointed. 5-0, absolutely steamrolling teams. Closest game this season came against Cocoa Beach, 27-20. They got the victory at Cocoa Beach. Palm Bay also played Cocoa Beach this season, beat them 34-18. So when you're really trying to compare these football teams, it's really tough based on level of competition. You know, Palm Bay's played some good teams. They lost to Astronaut. They lost to Melbourne. And they lost to Merritt Island. Those were big losses. Lost to Astronaut 38-13 and Merritt Island 38-9. So it's not like these were close games, but you know, they beat Cocoa Beach pretty handily, 34-18. So on paper, these teams should match up pretty evenly, and that's what we've seen so far through a quarter and a half. As the Thompson drops back to pass, he's going to take all day, fire a strike, almost intercepted, incomplete, but Scorpions should still be happy as they force a turnover on downs, and the decision to go for it does not pay off for Coach Mays and the Pirates, as the Scorpions will take over. Last drive out for Grennan and the Scorpions. Had a 4-and-out, punted out of their own end zone, so a lot better field position here, starting at their own 21-yard line. First and 10. And, Brody Grennan still got another year here in Satellite, and he's just proven to be such a field general for this football team. I know they're kind of run heavy, but able to make a throw when it's necessary. That's weight. Their workhorse back, able to absorb that flying in hit stick, but gets about 5 yards. Seen that play plenty of times so far to start this ball game. That little I formation halfback toss. And that defensive line for Palm Bay is a big unit, especially on that left side. Malik Brown and Brennis Jordan. Back in the I form, heavy formation to Grennan's right. Waite is the back. They're going to hand it off the middle. Bounces around, able to get maybe a yard or two. They're going to give him 3 yards, so 3rd and 2 looks like for the Scorpions. As they're moving fast, they don't want to let these Pirates catch their breath. They just want to punch it in for a first down. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to try with Grennan, quarterback sneak. And the ruling looks like he gained no yards. It's going to be right. He's going to be no. First down. So first down for the Scorpions after the quarterback sneak by Brody Grennan. And the white hat is telling both teams to get off the field. I don't know if they're going to measure the sticks here. I'm not sure. He didn't motion for a water break, so I don't know what it is. They're having a conversation about something down here. Not sure what it is. Could have been a water break. I just missed the signal. Is that a water break they were having? Yeah, he just kind of did that. It was kind of weird. Because he still motions for the teams not to take the field. I'm not sure what's going on here. It's not a water break. I have no clue what is happening right now. Oh. Looks like they maybe saw a lightning strike in the distance, so they wanted to check the radar, I think. Because most of these schools have buzzers when they go off. The lightning's close. So looks like coach from the Satellite sidelines making a call, checking the radar maybe. And lightning would be not a good scenario. I mean, this is such a good game we got going on, and it's such a beautiful night. Let's just call it heat lightning and play on. I know player safety and everything, but great game we got going here. All right, as they discuss this, I'll play a quick message from my friend, Chrissy Lindbeck.
Hi, I'm Christy Lindback with Compass, your East Coast real estate expert. When it comes to selling your home, experience and strategy matter. My team and I make sure every detail is handled, so you get top dollar and a stress-free experience. We bring in professional stagers, high-end photographers, and cinematic videographers to showcase your home at its best. Because every showing starts online and we make sure your home stands out. With consistent communication, strong negotiation skills, and local market expertise, I guide you every step of the way. Because here in Brevard, when it comes to real estate, Chrissy knows. Ready to buy or sell in Brevard? Visit Chrissy Knows and let's get started.
As we are back to live action here, I apologize if that was a little laggy. And again, I'm not able to monitor the stream, so if it is a little laggy, I apologize. I will check at halftime if there's any adjustments I can make. So after the false lightning strike, the Scorpions take over 1st and 10 from their own 30. Short little gain, maybe about 2 yards. Excuse me, it's going to be 3 yards for Logan Waite, leading rusher for the Scorpions team. Second and 7 after the rush of 3 by Waite. Grennan now in the gun. Waite to his right. Grennan drops back, looks right, fires a strike, hit hard. Oh my goodness. And that is the danger thrown across the middle of the field. Jason Teixeira. No, that was Byron Thompson. Number 17. Unless there's two number 17s. Jason Teixeira is number 17 on the Max Preps roster, but I do know that Byron Thompson's wearing number 17 because his jersey ripped last week. So one of those two, I believe it was Thompson, the same build is. So, I mean, just what a hit. And that's the quarterback, folks. That is the quarterback playing safety, absolutely laying wood out there. Grennan now in the empty. Grennan looks right, has time. Now he's going to roll, fire a strike, wide open, broken coverage. Touchdown, Satellite. And when I say wide open, I mean wide open. They lost Logan Waite. First time going empty for the Scorpions, and a huge bomb down the field. A 70-yard bomb from Grennan to Logan Waite. And Grennan just able to stay composed with pressure. Delivers an absolute strike to a wide open Waite as the extra point attempt is good. The Scorpions go up 2 scores with 6:26 remaining here in the first half. What a drive for the Scorpions. Fourteen to 0. Satellite making a statement in the first half here. And again, I saw it lag a little bit on my end here, so I apologize if that touchdown came across a little bit late for you viewers at home. Again, just me up here in the booth, so trying to do my best here. Just shoot me a text. I'll check them at halftime, make sure anything under my control that I can try to fix. After the 65-yard touchdown bomb from Grennan to Waite, Scorpions booted away. Squib kick up the middle. And ball was juggled that time. Now he's going to try to get upfield, but the Scorpions all over him as they surround the ball. Great special teams play there by the Scorpions, and I said it, not a couple minutes ago. This team is disciplined on all sides of the ball, all three phases, special teams, defense, offense. If you leave a guy wide open like that, they are going to capitalize because that is what they do. That is what Coach Dan Berg does. That is what his staff does here in Satellite. They take advantage of others' mistakes, and they do not give it away. Thompson now at quarterback. Quick pass outside. Right on the money, able to catch and run. Jukes inside. Tries to juke away from the other defender. Not able to. Good gain of about 5 yards there on the little screen pass outside. And whistles blow. And Satellite's going to take a timeout. Didn't like what they saw on defense, maybe. 5:50 remains here in the second quarter. I'd like to thank everybody joining us. I'd like to thank our sponsor of the second quarter, Technique Boxing. All their information at the bottom of your screen. Hard work pays off. I might need to go test my boxing skills a little bit. Hit the bag. Hit the quick bag. That's always a tough. It's always easier than it looks when you hit that quick bag and it keeps bouncing back at you. Definitely easier than it looks. But I always want to, when you go to the arcade, test out that punch game. Try to beat that high score when you go in there. Technique Boxing will help you with that, so go visit that if you're worried about your boxing score. As the Scorpion alumni are celebrating the class of 1984. As we have a packed crowd here in Satellite Beach. Thompson takes the snap, drops back, pressure. He's got a deep ball and way overthrown, not catchable. Intended receiver that time was Caden Newton. Great coverage by the Scorpions. That's one guy you don't want to let break loose is Caden Newton, because once he catches that football, he is gone. 3rd and 5 now after the incomplete pass. I like the aggressiveness from Thompson and the Pirates. Just not able to execute. Thompson, again, drops back to throw. Little screen pass outside. He's going to get the first down, and he keeps on trucking. First down. Caden Newton. That's all Thompson, maybe they put Newton in the backfield, let him do some work out of there. I know they've done it plenty of times before this season. Maybe they're saving that for when the game gets a little bit more hairy. I know they're down 14-0. They desperately need a score here. About halfway through the second quarter. That time that's Sedaros on the reception, but absolutely nowhere to go. Number 21, Caleb Jones on the tackle for loss there. Loss of 2. Thompson takes a snap, fakes the handoff, little read option, and the squirps all over that one. Stops him for a loss of 1. Looked like it was number 75, Zach Tiemann. Tiemann picks up a tackle for loss. Now with 3rd and 13 after 2 negative plays for the Pirates, and the Scorpions defense showing their teeth once again. About halfway through the second quarter, 4:17 to go here. Thompson drops back to pass. Blitz coming. Good pickup by the line. Fires a strike through the hands. Almost intercepted the intended receiver that time, Caden Newton. off the fingertips, and he really got some air there. If he didn't tip that ball, could have been dangerous. Could have been an interception. But now Palm Bay luckily has the option to punt, and they're going to need a good one to keep this Scorpions offense off the board. That's Thompson. High arcing kick. And it's going to take a satellite bounce. Ouch. Bad punt there, and wasn't bad in the air, just took a bad bounce. Bounced all the way to the Pirates' 45-yard line, so the Scorpions start in opposing territory, and that is the last thing the Palm Bay Pirates needed. 3:55 to go. Scorpions looking to tack on one more. Palm Bay does receive the second half kickoff, so if they can get a stop and score, they are right back in the driver's seat of this ball game. At halftime, I will mute the stream, and if the band is playing and there's no music playing, let you hear the band a little bit. First and 10 from the Pirates' 45. Fullback dive. Bouncing around, whistle blows, plays over. Gets about 2 yards that time on the carry. Anthony Romero on the carry, number 11. Brody Grinning gets the call from the sideline. Second and 8 after the 2-yard run by Romero. Now motions a man. He's going to give it to that man in motion. That's number 3. Able to cut inside, close to the first down marker is Bodie Whitson. And Whitson is about a yard short of that first down marker. That first down marker right at that 35-yard line. Definitely 4-down territory here for Satellite, as they're going to go in that tight formation once again. Romero lined up directly behind Grinning, and Grinnon's going to take it himself. Looks like it's going to be a first down. And that's exactly what it's going to be. First down for the Scorpions as they continue just to mow down this Palm Bay's defense. And this defense has been on the field for well over half of this football game, and you got to imagine they're tired. I don't see a lot of bodies on that Pirates sideline, and when you don't see a lot of bodies, that means they don't have a lot of rotation, especially on that defensive front. If you're not able to rotate out that defensive line and you're on the field this long, you're just going to keep getting pushed back, because that offensive line just gets stronger when they see about a 5-yard rush, and they're just quarterback sneaking it for 3 yards. They just gain confidence, and they seem like they gain strength. And we're going to get a timeout, Satellite. I believe that is their second timeout of the half. Minute 55 remains here in the first. And, you know, on my way up here, driving here, I saw, like, a couple businesses, banks, signs saying "Go Scorpions." I don't know how often that has been the culture here. Haven't made my way up to Satellite a whole lot, but I know that it just kind of feels different here. I do know that. There's a lot of confidence in this team. This is a team that could easily win a state championship in their association, in the Sunshine State Athletic Association. The way that they're playing right now, I know Palm Bay is not the best of Brevard. They are a solid Brevard team, But a lot of people thought Palm Bay was going to win this ball game. And don't get me wrong, this game's not even close to over, as Waite on the carry on the first down gets about 2 yards, brings up 2nd and 8. You know, people predicted Palm Bay to win this ball game. And me coming into it, me personally, I had no clue. I didn't know what to expect. I know I just saw Palm Bay lose 59-14 to Melbourne, coming into an undefeated Satellites Scorpions team. And somehow I was still questioning it just because of off their opponents they played. But they showed here in this first half that they are just as dominant as any other team here in Brevard. The way that they just march down the football field and their defense, just the discipline and the respect between coaches and players. You can see it on the field, and you can definitely see it here in this first half as they go back to that I formation. Little end around. Got to make a man miss. Carries the defender up to the Pirates' 30-yard line. It's going to be short of a first down. Takes the snap, fires a ball. Had a man up the seam, not able to connect there. And they're going to send out the field goal team on a 4th and 5 here, as I just heard up in the booth that Preston Kennedy has a boot on him. This is going to be a long field goal attempt. It's going to be about a 49. No, this is going to, yeah. About a 49-yard field goal attempt. Snap is good. Kick is going, and it falls short by about 5 yards. So got it up in the air. Looked good flying through the air. Just a little bit short as the Pirates will take over. 18 seconds to go here in the first half. We'll see if the Pirates try to push the envelope here. And we're going to get a timeout by the Pirates. Not sure why they call it a timeout when the clock stopped. Maybe just to discuss this play if they want to try a little flea flicker or something like that. You never know what's in store. They are going to get the ball at their own 25-yard line, so don't want to be too risky and give Satellite another attempt at a long field goal. Pirates will come back out onto the field after the timeout. See what Thompson decides to do and Coach Mays decides to do, most importantly. 18 seconds remain. I believe they have a timeout left, maybe 2. Thompson takes a snap, fakes a short throw. Looks like he was looking downfield. Now he's got to dance around in the pocket. Quick pass, that's Newton. Newton's got to get out of bounds. Instead, he stays in bounds, and the clock will continue to tick. And that'll pretty much do it on the first half, I would imagine. The clock doesn't start running until the ball's downed. So 6 seconds. And they get the snap off before it goes to zeros. Thompson again dancing around now, rolls left. He's going to look downfield. Now he's going to turn around. Pressure in his face, and he just steps out of bounds. Great pass rush from the Scorpions. Able to hold the Palm Bay Pirates to 0 points in this first half. And that'll do it in the first half as we head to quarter number 3, and we will be back with second half action here at the home of the Satellite Scorpions. All right, and we are back from halftime as the Scorpions will kick it away to the Pirates, and really a dominant first half for the Scorpions. Scorpions came out. They scored on their first drive. They ran all the way down the field, and once they got to that red zone, little bootleg pass, Brody Grinnan completed it to Alex Batalis. As the kick is away, and another little squib kick. And it is going to be fielded. Going to attempt to be returned. Hurdles a couple of defenders, gets past the 30, right up to about their own 34-yard line to start the second half. And Palm Bay needs a score. If there's another definition of need, that's it. They have to score here if they want to stay in this ball game. It's going to be a tough task against this Satellite defense, as they've proven to back up the stats that they show their teeth. You know, they bend just a little bit, but they especially don't break. One good drive by the Pirates resulted in a turnover on downs. They got in their own territory. Third quarter sponsor, Chrissy Lindbeck. All of our information at the bottom of your screen. Thank you to Chrissy. Thank you to the rest of our sponsors. The first play of the second half is going to be a handoff up the gut to Newton. Newton able to get about halfway to a first down. It's going to bring up 2nd and 5 for the Pirates. As, again, we are here at Satellite. Palm Bay visiting the Scorpions. Scorpions 5-0. Palm Bay 2-3. Satellite is answering a lot of questions, personally, I had coming into this ballgame. I'm sure they're answering a lot of questions around the county as well with their performance in that first half. We'll see if they can keep it going with the strong second half and put away the Pirates. A little counter play to Newton, but the Scorpions are there, and they're able to corral it. Loss of about 2 yards that time. And Caden Newton, not an easy guy to tackle in open space, but the Scorpions able to do it. Brings them down for a loss of 2, brings up 3rd and 7. Thompson now gets the call from the sideline. As we have a packed stadium here at the home of the Squirps. Third and 7, Thompson in the gun. Newton to his right. Takes the snap, drops back, has a clean pocket, fires a deep ball, and nobody really there. Seems like a miscommunication on the end of the receiver and quarterback. The intended receiver, Gabe Smith, first time calling his name in this ball game, and Thompson launches it incomplete. And if you're Coach Mays, you got to send the punt team out. You don't want to give Satellite great field position here in your own territory. Thompson's going to punt it away to the Squirps, back to return. Get the number soon. Nice boot that time, a lot better than the last punt from Thompson. And Satellite got to be careful. It almost looked like it kind of touched the Satellite player. Back to return was number 12, Noah Corovo. Excuse me if I just mispronounced that. But Satellite will take over at their own 31-yard line. Satellite 4 drives, 2 touchdowns. One drive started inside their own 10, had to end up punt out of their own end zone. Another ended the half in a missed field goal attempt. It was a 49-yard field goal attempt. So in high school, that is the equivalent to about I don't want to say 60, probably about a 58-yard field goal in the NFL, just for reference. As Brody Grinnan, the junior quarterback, will come out to tack onto the score, try to tack onto the score, make it a 3-possession ball game. Grinnan under center and a pre-snap penalty. We had a lot of those to start this ball game, but it's really slowed down. But to start the second half, we are going to get a pre-snap penalty. And it's going to be against the Scorpions. It's going to be a false start. That's a 5-yarder. So starting off behind the sticks. And, I want to call this team kind of a run-heavy offense with the formations that they mostly run. But we've seen Grinnan, he can sling it. We've seen a 65-yard touchdown pass to Logan Waite. And we've seen a 20-yard pass to Alex Batalis inside the red zone off of a little bootleg in the same formation that they have here. So Grinnan able to throw on the run and also evade pressure. This time, he's going to throw it again. Deep ball. There's double coverage. Did he pick that off? No, he didn't. Oh, my goodness. What a catch from the Palm Bay defender, number 23, Michael Lockhart. And excuse my camera work there. I think I missed it, but I apologize. I was trying to call the play and should have had the camera there. That's on me. But the Pirates will take over at their own 40-yard line after a miraculous interception by number 23, Michael Lockhart. Just the spark that the Pirates needed. Let's see if they can capitalize on that. Thompson, quick pass outside. He's speeding right down that sideline, close of the first down marker. And there's a little scuffle going on there. That was Timothy Sideros on the reception, catch and run. Again, I apologize if I missed that interception. And if the camera is shaky, this booth is on the stands here, so if anybody jumps up and stomps their feet, the camera will shake. Again, I apologize for that. First and 10 for the Pirates after the quick pass outside to Sideros. This time a handoff to Newton. Newton dances around a couple blitzing linebackers, able to get about 9 yards, and this drive is looking promising for the Palm Bay Pirates. 2nd and 1. And just to take a peek ahead for these Pirates, Martin County, they're going to host Martin County. Then they're going to host O'Galley. That is a district game for the Pirates, and that will probably be their toughest game on the schedule, as O'Galley has proven to be the best team in this county. And the runner is stuffed behind the line of scrimmage. Looked like he had a chance at a second effort, but good job by the Scorpions to stay on top of it. The man to clean it up, number 15, Mario Vargas Lopez. And instead of a 2nd and 1, it's going to be a 3rd and 3 after a loss of 2. Dorian Baychamp on the rush attempt for the Pirates. Big 3rd down here. As they put big fella Brennis Jordan on the right side of that line. Let's see if they run that way. They do. They're going to run right behind him, and he hits the gap hard. That's Baychamp, and he gets the first down. As they creep deeper and deeper inside of Scorpion territory. Looking like their best drive this evening. And this drive coming off the incredible interception, kind of a 50-50 ball, and Michael Lockhart able to come down with it. Handoff, Baychamp again. They're going to keep going to him, and he proves to be the right option as he falls forward. That time a gain of about 6 or 7. It's going to bring up 2nd and 4. Seven and a half to go here in the 3rd quarter. Palm Bay looking to get their first points of the ball game after just putting up 14 points last week and 8 points the week before. The offense finally getting into rhythm to begin this second half. Thompson takes a snap. It's going to be a toss outside to Newton. Newton's got an entourage of blockers. Scorpions pile ahead forward. And he's going to be short of the first down, but good run that time by Caden Newton. Newton leads this team in touchdowns with 5 touchdowns on the season. And this is a team that doesn't put up a lot of points, averaging about 13 points per game, and that just won't cut it for the Pirates. Trying to fix that, trying to work on things as they put Brennis Jordan back in the ball game. Big number 98. That time they're going to hand it off the gut. They're going to fall forward on the 3rd and short and get the first down. Fresh set, and the Pirates drive will continue. Looks like we got a couple guys banged up. Hopefully they're all right. Looks like they're all right. They're popping up. And we're going to get a water break halfway through the 3rd quarter. And I'll show you a quick word from my friend Chrissy.
Hi, I'm Chrissy Lindback with Compass, your East Coast real estate expert. When it comes to selling your home, experience and strategy matter. My team and I make sure every detail is handled, so you get top dollar and a stress-free experience. We bring in professional stagers, high-end photographers, and cinematic videographers to showcase your home at its best. Because every showing starts online, and we make sure your home stands out. With consistent communication, strong negotiation skills, and local market expertise, I guide you every step of the way. Because here in Brevard, when it comes to real estate, Chrissy knows. Ready to buy or sell in Brevard? Visit Chrissy Knows, and let's get started.
All right, thank you, Chrissy. And thank you to the rest of our sponsors here on the Brevard Sports Network. Technique Boxing and Natwick Insurance. Handoff up the gut on first down. Stood up and driven backwards, not after he gets about 2 yards. That's Baychamp on the carry. Looked like Avery Thompson, one of the Scorpions, on the tackle. It's going to be Brown lined up to Thompson's right. Thompson takes a snap. He's going to drop back. He's going to look left. It's going to be a tight window. Is he able to keep his feet in bounce? And looks like they're going to rule it an incomplete pass. It looked like his feet didn't get quite in bounds. The intended receiver that time was Caden Newton. He was open. It was just a tough and tight window for Thompson to sling it in there. Third and 9 after the incomplete pass. 4 wide, motions a man. He is going to pull it. Thompson with the late pull. He's going to try to get it up the middle, but great job by the Scorpions defense not to bite on Sedaros in motion. And holds to Thompson to about a 2 or 3 yard gain. It's going to bring up a 4th and 6. And more decisions for Coach Mays. Does he want to just get his points on the board? He kind of does need a touchdown. 4:58 remains in this 3rd quarter. They are going to send the field goal unit out there. They doesn't quite trust his offense after he tried that earlier in the ball game. It's going to be about a 34-yard attempt. Kick is up, and kick is good. First points of the ball game for the Palm Bay Pirates come from a 34-yard field goal from number 34. And the Pirates get it down to 11, still a 2-score game. Satellite not able to hold the shutout in place, but that would have been an impressive feat if they were able to do that. But they did hold them to a field goal. Still no touchdowns for the Pirates in this ball game. Kind of a look ahead for these Scorpions. Looks like it's going to be not too difficult after these Palm Bay Pirates. It's going to be Somerset Academy, West Nassau, I've never heard that school, and Tradition Prep, schools that I'm not too familiar with, so I don't want to call them, wins. But this team could easily, I'm pretty sure, finish the season undefeated and go as the number 1 seed into the playoffs. And, in Brevard County this year, there isn't a clear playoff favorite. You have O'Galley and you have a struggling Cocoa, so to see a team succeed in Brevard County is all we can ask for. Fair caught. Right about their own 32-yard line. Well, the Squirts will take over. I don't have that either. I got them off. Yeah, I don't know. I know the quarterback switched jerseys though this game to 17, so I don't know if a couple other guys did too. Yeah, probably. Thanks. You're welcome. Carry gets outside. Logan Waite on the carry, gets about 8 yards. Good first down play for the Squirps. Second and 2 now. Under 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter, and Satellite just wants to control this football and end this drive with 6. Back in that I form. Quick pass outside. Great pass leading him upfield, and he's got a blocker. He's going to hit the sideline hard, pushed out of bounds. Not after a big gain of 25 yards on the reception. Alex Batalis. Great play design there from Burke and his staff. And just wide open, Batalis was down the sideline. Good gain of about 25 yards. And something to note about Brody Grinnan, not sure what to expect. I knew this team was going to run a lot, but they've actually been about halfway, passing and running the football. And Grinnan, other than that one interception, I haven't even seen a bad pass. And that interception was a 50-50 ball. You always want to give your guy benefit of the doubt. So do you want to call that a bad pass? I don't think so. So pretty much a flawless game for Brody Grinnan, along with this whole Satellite offense and this tough match against the Pirates. Third and 5 after a couple of runs. Back under center. Hands it off to Waite, and Waite is swallowed by that big defensive line for the Pirates. No gain on the play. It's going to bring up a 4th and 5. And we did hear that their kicker does have a pretty good leg, so we'll see if they want to send him out here. And it looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field, unless that was second down and I just misread the marker. I think it was. So my apologies. It was second down, not third down. Now it's third down, and the Scorpions are going to go empty on a 3rd and 5. Dangerous look. If you're the Pirates, look like they're playing one-on-one coverage. Grinnan takes a snap, quick fire over the middle of the field, caught right in that soft side of the zone. And he keeps plugging head forward. He loses the football. Heads up play by the Scorpions to jump on it. Great throw again by Brody Grinnan. It's going to result in a first down for the Scorpions. And that's kind of what that second effort entails. Sometimes you get those big hits and you lost the football. Good heads up play by the rest of that Scorpions team to jump on it. Keep ball in their hands. 1st and 10 as they inch into the red zone. back in that I form is Grinning. Toss outside to Waite. Waite cuts in, follows his blockers, falls forward for about 5 yards. Good gain for Logan Waite, and we've seen him do it in the passing game as well. He had that 65-yard touchdown catch, or it would look like it was almost broken coverage back there, and Grinning put it right on the money. About a minute to go here in this third quarter. Satellite just wants to hold on to it. We'll see if they hold on to it till about the fourth quarter. Let this clock tick all the way down. Palm Bay had their best drive last time they had the football. Resulted in 3 points. Grinning takes a snap. That's Waite. Waite slung down hard and a little slow to get up. That was a hard tackle. Number 25 on the tackle for the Pirates, Caden Fonte. Another third and manageable. See if Grinning and the Scorpions decide to keep it on the ground. They're going to throw the ball and fakes the toss. He's going to keep it himself. Lowers his shoulder, takes a big hit. Clock is going to tick. And looks like the defender took the worst of that hit. And that'll do it here in the third quarter. As we head to the fourth, Scorpions on top 14-3 as we flip sides of the field. All right, as we start this fourth quarter, on a fourth down, and the field goal unit is out for the Scorpions, looking to match the Pirates, put this lead back up to 14. Our fourth quarter sponsor is Natwick Insurance. Call that number right there and visit natwickinsurance.com. And they motion on the field goal. I don't know if the defense jumped off sides there. And they do get an encroachment, so that's a free 5 yards. And most importantly for the Scorpions, a first down. As the drive continues, and just a brilliant play there. Have you ever seen a man in motion on a field goal attempt? Neither have I, and neither did the defense, because on first movement they jumped, and a free 5 and a first down at about the 5-yard line for the Scorpions to kick off this fourth quarter. Again, like to thank our sponsor, Natwick Insurance. If it wasn't for Mr. Natwick, we probably wouldn't have done this broadcast, able to get an extension cord up here for me, and I greatly appreciate that. I'm sure everybody else watching does as well. Run gets about 2 yards closer to the goal line. It's going to bring up a second and goal from about the Pirates' 4-yard line. And I appreciate everybody joining me here this evening as they're going to go quarterback sneak, and there is a flag, most likely going to be a false start. Nope, It's going to be a defense of offsides. So maybe lined up in the encroachment zone. So it's half the distance, still second and goal. That'll move it a yard closer. Second and goal. Scorpions looking to punch it in as the clock continues to tick. 11 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Toss outside to Waite, looking for a second TD of the game. One through the air, one through the ground. Touchdown, Scorpions. Logan Waite, 2-touchdown evening for the senior. And the Scorpions pile it on a wounded Pirates defense. And this Satellite Scorpions team is for real. This is a team that can easily contend for a state championship in the Sunshine State Athletic Association, as the extra point attempt is up and right through the uprights as they extend the lead to 21-3. 10 minutes left to go here in the fourth. Again, I appreciate everybody joining me here this evening as we've had a great game on our hands and kind of just a one-sided ball game. You know, like I said in the pregame, I've said it multiple times, there was a bunch of question marks, a bunch of concerns on what this game was going to bring, what this game was going to do to Satellite if they were to lose this ball game. Would it tarnish their undefeated record? Would it, affect their progression inside the playoffs as we get, halfway through this high school football season? And that's going to be a squib kick, able to be grounded right about their own 35-yard line. And, for the Pirates, could they come out here and make a statement after losing 59-14 to the Melbourne Bulldogs in a rivalry game? And, they just kind of come out here flat-footed. The only guy I've really seen making a lot of plays this evening, obviously Byron Thompson, trying to do all he can do. And Caden Newton has, I have in my notes here the MVP of this ball game, of this team, and that could not be more true through 3 quarters of this game, and the handoff just goes nowhere. Offensive line lets that whole defensive line through. Loss of about a yard. It's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Dorian Baychamp on the carry. Palm Bay will host O'Galley in 2 weeks. That'll be a district game, and if they play like this, they will get beat by 30 points. Thompson, quick pass outside. That's Sedaros. Sedaros makes a nice cut, able to outrun a couple of defenders, past the first down marker, pushed out of bounds just before approaching the 50. Timothy Sedaros. Fresh set for the Pirates. They need a touchdown. Can't settle for 3 this time. If they're not able to score here, this will pretty much put a bow on it. Thompson hands it off the middle. That's Baychamp again. Baychamp now looking a little explosive. Going to get the first down a little bit more. Quick on his feet is Dorian Baychamp. Another first down, back-to-back plays, back-to-back first downs. Drive now into Scorpions territory at the Scorps 40-yard line. Pirates moving quick. Thompson drops back to pass. Looking downfield, he's going to fire a deep ball and almost intercepted. Great attempt by the receiver to knock it away. Looked like the defender was camped right under it. And it looked like it was a sideline warning, so there was a flag, but it was just a warning, so no gain or loss of yardage for each squad. The intended receiver that time, I believe, was Newton. Didn't quite catch the defender's number. Tried the hard count, but they might have made their own guy jump off sides. And as we get another discussion. It's going to be a false start on the Pirates, so that'll back them up 5 yards. Going to bring up a 2nd and 15 now. It's been a relatively clean game. The most, kind of a lot of pre-snap penalties, but that's the only thing. If that's the only thing you're complaining about when it becomes, the argument in penalties, you'll take 5-yarders over those holding penalties or pass interference or those unsportsmanlike personal fouls, whatever it is, you'll take the 5 yards all day. So can't be too unhappy with that. Thompson faces pressure now, rolls right. He's just going to tuck it and run, head out of bounds. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 12 after a rush of about 3 yards by Thompson. And Thompson has not done a whole lot on his feet. Pretty much one highlighted play was the one where it was a broken play, able to escape the pressure coming from his back, and nobody on the backside of the field flips it. About a 20-yard rush, and that was one of the keys in this ballgame for Satellite to succeed is contain Thompson on the ground. And they've done quite literally that. 3rd and 12, big play in this ballgame. Thompson rolls left, looking downfield, throws a ball incomplete out of the reach of the intended receiver. That was Timothy Sederos on the target, and Thompson doesn't really give him a catchable ball, so have to go for it on 4th down here if you're the Pirates, and you're going to need a long 12 yards to keep this game alive. 9:26 remains in the 4th quarter. Thompson in the gun. Tries to get them offside, tries to get a free 5 yards, looks over to the sideline, and Palm Bay is forced to take a timeout as the hard count did not work. And now I like this timeout. I know you only get 3.5, and I believe they've taken 2, if I'm not mistaken, so only 1 timeout remaining in a 3-score ball game. But if you don't get this 4th down, the game's pretty much over, and you want to try to draw up the perfect play if you're Coach Mays and the offense. I assume they'll try to get Caden Newton involved, or, this is a tough. This is really when coaching comes down to it, and it's really cool to talk about it like this, because this is, the battle between mentor and protege, with Kevin Mays coaching under Coach Dan Burke in those Palm Bay glory days, and now it becomes a coaching battle here on 4th and 12. What will Palm Bay decide to do? Thompson takes a snap, rolls left. He's got time to throw. He's going to fire a deep ball down into triple coverage and just launched it. That was about a 50-yard bomb. Too bad it was 10 yards away from the intended receiver. And that's another turnover on downs, and the Scorpion defense comes up big once again in this ball game. And the Scorpions will take over at their own 45-yard line. And if you're the Scorpions and that coaching staff, stick to the run. You know, if a play action appears, if it's if it's like a 2nd and 2, why not run a play action? It's worked plenty of times in this ball game. The empty formation has worked. Not the time for the empty formation, but I'm sure they're just going to keep grounding and pounding and let this clock tick away. The Scorpions receive the ball with 9:18 remaining in the game. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to hand it off to Waite. Waite maybe gets a couple yards. He's actually going to get about 3 yards. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 7. That's all you can ask for if you're an offensive coordinator. You know, 3 yards in 4 plays equals 12 yards, and that's a first down every time. So if they can just keep going those 3 4-yard runs, they'll ice this game away and walk out of here undefeated. Grinning back under center. He's going to take it himself and engulfed by Jordan Brennis along with number 50, Seth Brillhart. Loss of 1 brings up a 2nd and 8 now, or excuse me, 3rd and 8 for the Scorpions. Pirates are hanging on by the ropes here. They are on their last legs. Got to give credit to the defense and standing tall, forcing a 3rd and long. See if the Scorpions pass. They do. He drops back. It's going to be a quick pass. It's going to be caught. Turns upfield past the 50. Makes a man miss. Nice move. Cuts upfield. Tackled. Not after he gets into Pirates territory. Inside the 35-yard line. And the drive continues for the Scorpions. That was Tim Garvey. First time calling his name, and it was a big moment. Garvey heads up awareness, not only to stay in bounds, but juke out 2 defenders and get the first down and a lot more. And back to the running game go the Scorpions. Handoff, little jet sweep action. And that time the Pirates over it. Batalis on the carry gets about a yard. 2nd and 9 for the Scorps. Hope everybody's enjoying their Friday evening. Great weekend ahead. Great sports weekend. Some are calling it the best sports weekend of all time. You know, you got the Ryder Cup for those golf fans. I'm a golf fan just recently. And the Ryder Cup is pretty interesting because in golf, you know, there's not a lot of guys that get up and get electric, but that crowd, man, that crowd is rowdy on a Friday. Watched a little bit of it this morning. When it gets to Sunday, I'm sure it's going to be electric. Handoff, he's got space. There's Batalis once again, and he's going to get inside the red zone as the Scorpions continue to chip away at this clock. And there's a player down. Hopefully he's okay. Slow to get up. And injury timeout on the field. While there's an injury timeout,
Hi, I'm Christy Lindback with Compass, your East Coast real estate expert. When it comes to selling your home, experience and strategy matter. My team and I make sure every detail is handled, so you get top dollar and a stress-free experience. We bring in professional stagers, high-end photographers, and cinematic videographers to showcase your home at its best. Because every showing starts online, and we make sure your home stands out. With consistent communication, strong negotiation skills, and local market expertise, I guide you every step of the way. Because here in Brevard, when it comes to real estate, Chrissy knows. Ready to buy or sell in Brevard? Visit Chrissy Knows, and let's get started.
All right. As we continue in this fourth quarter, 6:27 to go here in the fourth. Scorpions looking to put it away, and I apologize if it's a bit laggy. I know my camera is lagging a little bit, so I apologize if that happens. Waite takes the carry, slips up. Ball comes loose, but he was definitely down. Gain of about 4 yards. That time's going to bring up a 3rd and 5 for the Scorpions. Third and 5 back in the I formation. Grinton hands it off to Waite. Waite finds a hole and he hits it hard, slips up, but not before he gets a first down and inside the 10-yard line. And a meticulous drive here for the Scorpions as they are owning this clock and owning the ball game as we have another player down for the Pirates. Hopefully he's all right. So I don't know. That probably won't be a forced timeout. That'll be just an official's timeout. So hopefully he's okay. And the Satellite Scorpions are just proving a lot of people wrong. And, you know, it was about 50-50. I heard Satellite was going to win. And then some people were saying that Palm Bay was going to come in here and upset the Scorpions. And Scorpions have shut down all talks of them being any type of phony. They have handled the Palm Bay Pirates, is one word to put it. Absolutely manhandled this squad. And this score could be a lot more. You know, there was a missed field goal. They had a drive where they started inside their own 5 and just got really nothing going. Other than that, an interception as well. So other than those, you know, that one mistake was that interception, this game would be out of hand and most likely a running clock. And Palm Bay's offense has just been able to get nothing going against this Satellite Scorpions defense. They had one drive, but again, it got halted when they got to that 30-yard line and resulted in 3 points. First and goal after the good run by Logan Waite. Back in that successful I formation. Palm Bay defense, hands on their knees, just doesn't know what to do to stop this offense of Satellite. And just jumps off sides. I mean, very undisciplined there. Grinton wasn't even really set in his, you know, with his knees bent under the center and still able to get Palm Bay to jump off sides, and that'll be 5 yards closer, half the distance closer. Puts them at the 5-yard line. See if they just punch it in. Logan Waite looking for his 3rd touchdown of the game. Or if Grinton, we've seen him take it himself a couple times. Seen a lot of looks out of this I formation. They're going to hand it to Waite. Waite trying to bounce it outside. Good contain. Keeps him to no gain. Number 6, A.J. Messenger, one of the leaders for this Palm Bay's defense. Second and goal now. Under 4.5 to go here in the fourth quarter, and Satellite is taking their sweet time. And the Scorpions will take a timeout. Scorpions' first timeout of the second half. Scorpions will extend their winning streak to 6 and stay undefeated on the season, 6-0. If this game holds up, which it will. If it doesn't, then anything is possible. In their last 4 games, like I said, if the score remains, they will have allowed a combined 23 points just in their last 4 games. And that'll bring their average down from 6.8 to probably about 5 points. Not the best with math there. No calculator in front of me. No can do. And, you know, when it comes to Coach Dan Burke, he pretty much just proves why he is the best coach in Brevard County history. I mean, he just continues to tack on wins and wins and wins and trying to capture his 3rd state championship under his belt, as this Satellite Scorpions team can definitely capture that state title if they keep playing like this. Grinning under center, takes a snap. That's wait, little patient run. Trucks ahead, maybe to about the 2-yard line. Now 3rd and goal from the 2. Clock still runs. That's big Jordan Brennis, and a little slow to get off the field. And if you're the Scorpions, that clears up the middle. Hopefully he's okay. Whistle blows, official timeout once again, so clock will stop at 3:18. A lot of stoppage in this last drive. Hopefully there's some other good games going around the county. I know Melbourne played Osceola. Can't wait to find out how that game turned out. I know Osceola pretty much a powerhouse around that district for sure. Melbourne can hang tight with them. And now both sides coming off the field. Not sure what for. Once again, like to thank all of our sponsors this evening. Natwick Insurance. Again, Natwick, a big sponsor of Brevard Sports Network and a huge help for me in this game, able to provide an extension cord and get this stream up and rolling. Thank you, Mr. Natwick, and along with Chrissy Lindenbeck, Real Estate, and Technique Boxing. Great 3 sponsors for this ball game. Third and goal from the 1-yard line. And Grinnon's going to wait until he has to snap this ball, probably about 5 seconds on the clock. Or excuse me, on the play clock. Now Grinnon will get under center. Looks like he's going to go for a quarterback sneak. That's exactly what he's going to do. Will he get in? We'll wait for the signal. And they're going to mark him short. 4th and goal for the Scorpions, as it's probably down to about that half-inch line. Brody Grinnon on the quarterback sneak. They're going to wind it all the way down once again, I can imagine. And we get a timeout, Palm Bay, with 2:22 remaining. And if they can get this stop and throw a 99-yard touchdown, they might be back in this ball game. It's going to be hard to stop this Satellite offense at the 1-yard line, though. I believe that will be Palm Bay's final timeout. I'm not quite sure how those injury timeouts are ruled, so it's either their second or third timeout. And just a little recap of who scored in this ball game. Logan Waite scored on a 65-yard touchdown bomb from Brody Grinnan. That was the second score of this ball game from Satellite. The first score came from a little play-action boot, 20-yard bullet from Brody Grinnan to Alex Batalis. And the third score came from Logan Waite once again, able to punch it in on the ground with a 3-yard touchdown run. Grinnan takes a snap. Waite looking for his third, cuts inside, and he walks right into the end zone. And that's the hat trick for the senior as the Scorpions keep piling on the Pirates. Lead extends to 27-3, pending the extra point, 28-3. Looks like we got another player. He's hopping off. Hopefully he's all right. So praying for all these injuries on the Palm Bay sideline. Hopefully everybody's okay over there and they're healthy for next week. Next week for Palm Bay, they're going to host Martin County. They're going to host O'Galley. And then they're going to host Titusville. And they're going to host Mentanis. So to end the season, they will have a 4-game homestand. That's pretty good for the Pirates. You know, that'll rally you up to win 4 in a row. And they got a tough battle ahead these last 4 games of the season. We'll see what they can do with that. And when it comes to the Scorpions, 3 more games remain in the season. Somerset Academy Key. The extra point is muffed. And the kicker is going to try to field it. He's going to launch into the end zone. He's got a man in the end zone. And instead of an extra point, it'll be 2 more points for the Scorpions. And a heads-up play from the kicker. That's Preston Kennedy able to complete it. Get his head up and find an open man. He's fighting for that backup quarterback position. So that'll extend Satellite's lead 29-3. And it's been pure domination for the Scorpions. 2 minutes and 17 seconds remain for the Pirates to try to build into next week with some sort of confidence. We got Somerset Academy, West Nassau, and Tradition Prep next on the schedule to finish it off for the Scorpions. And again, like I said earlier, not too familiar with those teams, but I mean, the way that this team is playing, this is a tough team to beat. And Kennedy will boot it away, a little squib kick. And it's going to be misfielded. And Newton just not able to hang on and able to fall on it, luckily. Pirates will start at their own 20-yard line as the Scorpions are already getting the round of applause from the crowd, and well-deserved. Also, Coach Dan Burke, I mean, outstanding game plan. Credit to all that coaching staff down there, and credit most importantly to these players that go out there and play their hearts out, and they're putting it all on the line, and it's really showing. Satellite hasn't had a team like this in at least 5 years. Team that can compete and compete for state titles. Thompson drops back. He's going to fire a quick bullet pass, incomplete. The intended receiver was Newton. Second and 10, that'll stop the clock. 2:10 to go here in the fourth. Second and 10 for Thompson and the Pirates. 3 to the top of your screen. And he's just going to hand it off to Brown, I believe that was. Blaze Brown, number 7. And he gets about 4 yards. Going to bring up a 3rd and 6. Under 2 minutes to go here. And again, I'd like to thank everybody joining me here this evening. If any of the sound or if it was a bit laggy, I apologize for that. Hopefully we got the best broadcast out to you, and hopefully there's some other better games going around the county that you can tune in, and everybody has a great, safe weekend and enjoys some sports, just sits on the couch, have a couple drinks, and enjoy their time. And Palm Bay takes a timeout with 1:28 remaining here in the fourth quarter. And that will definitely be their last timeout. Satellite has exceeded expectations, especially for me. I really thought this was going to be a little bit of a closer game. And apparently I had no idea what I was talking about, because Satellite has come out and just pure domination on this game. You know, all 3 phases, special teams, offense, defense. Logan Waite, definitely the player of the game in my eyes. Gets the hat trick, 3 touchdowns, 2 on the ground, 1 through the air, and of the 65-yard variation. 3rd and 5 after the 5-yard run by Brown. Brown remains in the backfield. Thompson looks like try to be a little trickery, and it's going to be Sederos, and Satellite all over. It looked a little bit dysfunctional there, like didn't practice that a whole lot, and trying to break out all the tricks is Coach Mays. 4th and 2 now for the Pirates. Under a minute to go, and if they're unable to get this, the Scorpions will knee it out and get out of here 6-0. Thompson on the read option keeps it himself. He's going to get the first down after he lunges ahead. Drive continues for the Pirates. Clock won't run until the sticks are set. Clock now runs. Thompson takes a snap. Deep drop back. He's going to fire a deep ball. And a double coverage and overthrown, but there's a flag. Only one thing that could be. Most likely going to be a pass interference. No signal, but they are moving the ball 15 yards forward, so I'm just going to take it as a pass interference because couldn't be anything else. 31 seconds remain here in the fourth quarter, as that's all really the Pirates can do is just chuck up. And you know, Thompson's got an arm on him. But Satellite, man, they are playing sticky coverage out there. Thompson, quick pass outside and left it a little short of the intended receiver, Timothy Sederos. Stops the clock, 2nd and 10. Thompson has a attempted a couple deep balls in this ball game and overthrown pretty much all of them. Just needs to hone it in a little bit more, especially when this season coming to the finish line. Thompson takes a snap, rolls left. Now he's going to have to evade pressure, and he's unable to. He's going to be brought down. And the Satellite Scorpions with their 4th sack of the ball game. First one there, number 45, Owen Trillo. And to clean it up, number 10, Avery Thompson. And 5 seconds remain, and that will do it. The Satellite Scorpions move to 6-0 on an impressive season. 3 more games for the Scorpions. Can they finish strong? Will this success continue into the playoffs? I think it will. The way this team performed tonight, they looked pretty unbeatable. And for Palm Bay, tough stretch. Bright side is all 4 are at home. Martin County, O'Galley, Titusville. Tough stretch for Palm Bay. I'd like to thank everybody joining us here on this beautiful Week 6 matchup here under the Friday Night Lights in Satellite Beach. And that's another win for the legendary coach Dan Burke. And signing off for the Brevard Sports Network, Chase Alexander. Have a great evening.